Triple kill. A summoner has disconnected.
Heyo, this is Strako, and today we hunt some big game. Last episode I promised that we would make Radahn our next demigod, and to make taking down the Star Scourge more than just a distant dream, we have a bit of prep we need to do. These three items are going to be key to our eventual victory. Starting off with the Ant Spur Rapier. This is one of the few weapons in the game that has a natural Scarlet Rot buildup, which Radahn is exceptionally weak to. Unfortunately, it's a little bit far. This is the shaded castle where we're going, this is where we're starting, here is where we fight Commander O'Neill and Khaled, and this is where we'll eventually take a teleporter to Radahn. Originally I was going to cut this travel because it's fairly boring, but I get so many comments on my Maidenless video about traversing the map without a horse that I figured I'd at least show a little bit of what it's like. All that said, let's see where we made it to on our run. We are halfway there. You get the point. If you find yourself feeling brave while crossing the lake, feel free to grab this key from the dragon. He will then quickly remind you why you should be a coward.
Brutality.
Once you finally arrive at the shaded castle, there's this grace right up here. It will save you a lot of time if anything goes. There's a grace right before you start the Volcano Manor trek. I recommend grabbing it before going down to the shaded castle, just in case. After a simple NPC fight, make sure to use bleed, you have your rapier. Unfortunately, as of now, it's basically a fire poker because it needs 20 dex. Even with the Source Seal, we only have 15. Luckily, we have an item that can fix this issue for us. Unluckily, it means this boss has to die. This ghost summons are immune to any status effects I have, so we need to grab a secret weapon to have a chance. It's time for a quick stop at Stormvale Castle for the next item on our list. The Miséricorde, or the Super Stabby Knife. Sorry if I butchered the French. This dagger gives a massive critical hit bonus, enough to one-shot the ghosts. This is going to be our workhorse for a lot of situations, so upgrade it as high as you can. Now that all of that is taken care of, we should hopefully be able to kill the ghosts in one backstab, and then bleed/poison O'Neill to death. With this whole plan ready, let's put it into action. So I decide to fight him legit. So I give Commander O'Neill a fair fight. Oh look, you almost got him, but I botched a parry and I died. I don't want to cheese this boss, so I give him a few college tries. The boss found his way into this geyser, which while technically isn't my fault, won't stop me from benefiting from his untimely demise. Get the needle repaired by Gothry. With the needle repaired, you can now deliver it to Millicent. After a quick break where you question if you just became a murder accomplice, she gets her prom day glow up and gives you a talisman that raises dex by 5. Remove the Ant Spur Rapier from its place next to the fire, gear up with the best resists you have, and get ready because it's time for Radahn. If you're smart, you can go over to this minor Erd tree and pick up a tear for your wondrous physique that negates one hit. I'm not smart. So let's get this festival started.
Before we begin, allow me to paint you the full picture. Give me chocolate.
After you take the portal, most people's first fight probably went something like this. Try to avoid that. My favorite start to this fight is running up to this summon sign here and using the terrain to block his first arrow, running over to these on the right and using the terrain to block his second arrow, and then running to the left, and as long as you stay about as far back as the summon sign is, he will only do the gravity shots and he won't do the Aldrich arrows at you. After that, it's just a simple matter of waiting out till your first summons get close enough he switches to the sword, and then you're free to approach, although I make no promises that this strategy will be of any help once you reach him. Strap in because we're going to talk strategy. The plan for this fight is fairly simple. We make him bleed, and then we make him rot. The first bleed is an extremely low threshold, and the damage is enough to activate his first phase change. Radahn will do this electric slam, and then this big gravity suck. Stay behind him, you get free hits the entire time, enough to, theoretically, transition him to Phase 2. In Phase 2, this move where he summons the big rocks is both your worst enemy and your best friend, because it gives you a massive chance to punish, enough to inflict him with Scarlet Rot. Between this and the various summons, we should be able to beat Phase 2 without ever even getting in range of him. An extremely simple plan in theory. What could go wrong? At this point, it's natural to be frustrated, but I bet you Live Straka was handling this great. This input reading app! And that marks the end of Radahn. 38 deaths, 25 minutes of running, and 2 hours of attempts to fell the demigod of Khalid. Thank you all so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day. Random aside, did you know that you could do bonus damage to Wormface with a headshot?